Hey everybody, this is Sagar Verma from Tulip. Today I wanted to show you an example of Tulip's HTTP connector where we're trying to integrate with OpenBOM. OpenBOM is a cloud-based real-time collaboration and a data management tool that manages inventories, bill of materials, catalogs, and you can also configure purchase orders on OpenBOM. The idea behind this integration is to how we can pull in information from OpenBOM once configured based on either bill of materials or different catalogs or inventory of different parts, and how we can pull in all that information within Tulip and build a work instruction app on top of that will guide the operator on the shop floor how to assemble a specific unit. In this video here, I will be highlighting 8 different connector functions that we built as a part of this Tulip OpenBOM connector, the aim behind each of those connector functions, how we can leverage those connector functions within Tulip, and how we can pull in information from OpenBOM, update the information back to OpenBOM using OpenBOM's API. And on top of that, this information could be leveraged to build a work instruction app within Tulip that guides the operators. So let's dive straight into it. So this is the first connector function that we have within our Tulip connector, getting the access token. You need to have an account on OpenBOM where you configure your profile, and you get an OpenBOM API key that can be configured on Tulip's connectors UI. But the first step is to get the access token, as this is required in all the subsequent connector functions that I'll be going over in detail. So, and one more thing is the expiry time for this access token is 24 hours. So what I'll do here is I'll first go and get my access token. This does a connector call, a get call to OpenBOM's endpoint, where OpenBOM's API returns us the access token. I'm storing that access token in a variable, and this variable will be used in subsequent connector function calls that would be done to OpenBOM's API. So the next step here is, as I mentioned before, OpenBOM offers us different, you can configure catalogs, you can configure different bill of materials. So this is where, you can get all the list of catalogs that are configured on your profile, by doing a get HTTP call to OpenBOM's endpoint by passing the access token. If I do this, OpenBOM returns me all these 3 different catalogs that are configured on my profile so far. So I'm going to be selecting the first one, which, I select and save the catalog ID within Tulip along with the catalog name within Tulip. This is important because I'll be using catalog ID to be dynamically being piped into the variables that will be passed to get information of a specific catalog ID. Catalogs is important because catalog is where you maintain the inventory of your parts on OpenBOM. So similar to catalogs, we have BOMs that are configured on OpenBOM, or bill of materials for all the different parts that are needed to assemble one unit. Before we dive into specific BOM and specific catalogs, it is a good place to start to see what all BOMs are configured on your profile that you can pull information about within Tulip by doing another get HTTP call to a specific endpoint on OpenBOM's API. These are the 3 bill of materials that are returned that I have configured on my profile within OpenBOM, and I select the first one over here. This BOM name is called a skateboard Tulip demo. We'll be pulling in information about specific parts that are needed for configuring, let's say, for example, configuring a skateboard, and the specific BOM ID associated with this specific BOM. As I mentioned before, within OpenBOM, you can also, manage or configure purchase orders and also release bill of materials when they're ready for production. This is like the key connector function, because we would be using this connector function to pull in the information of a specific purchase order or a work order that be released for production. And we can leverage all the information that OpenBOM supplies on their production BOM to give it to the operators that are working on the shop floor to assemble the unit. Again, this is Also, a single get HTTP call to a specific endpoint on OpenBOM's API. This shows us that there is one production order that is available that we can work with, and we save it, the BOM ID and the BOM name, within Tulip on a variable. Now, finally, once we have the production BOM and we have a list of BOMs and the list of catalogs, we've already stored them into specific BOM IDs and catalog ID variables within Tulip. Now we'll be using the access token that we've obtained in the first connector function. Along with that, you leveraging the BOM ID that we stored in the variable. You can use both of them to get details of the specific bill of material on the production order BOM to assemble, for, in our case, a skateboard. So let's go ahead and fire this trigger up. This would do an HTTP get call to BOM ID endpoint, and if you can see, we have all the different parts that we would need to assemble the skateboard. There's a deck. Right now, the production order has to assemble 2 different units of skateboard. So hence, we need 2 decks, we need 4 trucks, 8 wheels, 8 bearings, 6 grips, and 16 truck nuts and 16 truck screws to assemble 2 skateboards. That would complete the production order. So you see how this information could be pulled into Tulip, and we can build a work instruction app on top of this by pulling in information from OpenBOM, and Tulip being the UI or the front face for the operators that are working on the shop floor. Now, OpenBOM's API, like how we can pass a specific BOM ID to get the information of a specific BOM, we can also leverage by passing the name, and that is why we stored the BOM name in the previous steps in a specific variable. How this is done is we do a post HTTP call to a specific endpoint for OpenBOM. We pass in the name of the BOM that is stored in a Tulip variable along with the access token that is stored in the Tulip variable, and we get the specific BOM. This again does an HTTP get call to OpenBOM's endpoint. The part names again are returned. This time what we're doing is we're doing an HTTP call to a different bill of materials, and which is returning us the unit quantity. So if you previously, what we were doing was that we were getting details on the bill of materials for a production order, but now this time we're getting on one single entity or the quantity of the unit that we need. So far we've covered 6 different connector functions that we highlight as part of Tulip's connector for OpenBOM. The next is just like how we've had getting specific BOM, we can also get specific catalogs. Catalog is very important within OpenBOM because this is where you would manage the inventory of different parts. The idea behind integrating with this endpoint is to get information on the specific, the inventory that is being maintained within OpenBOM. That gives an indicator to the shop floor manager, the shop floor operators, while they're working with specific parts, that they have an idea of if they're lacking behind parts or if they need more parts. Within Tulip, you can always have different email triggers to send alerts to other users if you're falling short of parts. So this is what, like an example that we wanted to show within Tulip and the OpenBOM connector. So let's go ahead and do a get HTTP call to the specific catalog. Just like before, we're going to be passing the catalog ID and the access token in our connector function call to OpenBOM's catalog endpoint. Once we get that, these are the parts that we would need to assemble our skateboard. And right now, the current inventory looks really good because as we saw that we need 2 decks, 2 trucks, and all of them are in good order. We have 20 decks here, 20 trucks here, 10 wheels, 10 bearings. So this gives us a real-time information on what the inventory looks like on the back end that is being configured on OpenBOM. And then finally, we have another one which is important because as you build the work instruction app on the floor and the operator is progressing through different steps, he is consuming all these different parts to complete the production order. So it is important on a real time how this inventory gets updated. So OpenBOM offers, updating specific catalog properties. And one of those catalog properties that we're leveraging here is the quantity in hand property that gets configured on the backend on OpenBOM. And as the operator progresses through, assembling a specific unit, consuming specific parts, we can update the quantity of those parts dynamically using Tulip's expression editors, Tulip's triggers, and things like that. But just for ease here, I'm going to be showing you that we'll be doing you'll be using two connector functions over here. The first one would be updating the inventory of the parts that are being consumed, and second would be to make sure that that inventory was updated in a correct way. Right. So let's say, for example, that the operator has completed this production order where he's using 2 decks and 2 trucks to assemble 2 skateboard units. So, within Tulip, this will be dynamically updated on a work instruction app. But for ease, we can enter, say, the new value for the deck would be 18 now, since it's consumed 2 decks to produce 2 skateboards, and 2 trucks to produce the production order and complete the production order. So once you enter these new values, I will go ahead and update the inventory. What this connector function did was it did a post call to the catalog endpoint to update the properties of your choice in catalog. Specifically here, we're looking at the quantity in hand. Once this is done, just to make sure that that was done properly, we do another, this time we do a get HTTP call to the catalog endpoint by passing in this catalog specific ID or the catalog name, as we've stored that in Tulip variable before. We do that, and this shows us the result that the updated quantity is 18 and the truck is also 18, so we're all good. So this is how we can manage real-time inventory management within Tulip while we integrate with OpenBOM. We can pull in information for specific parts, the bill of materials within Tulip, and build like a work instruction app for the operator that is assembling a specific unit on the shop floor. So this is all I wanted to show you today. Hope this was helpful. If you are interested in integrating with OpenBOM or work on OpenBOM, please reach out to us via support.tulip.co, and I'll drop in a link below as well on the support document. And we'll be happy to import an OpenBOM connector on your instance. Thank you so much.